Okay, so we chant that mantra, but everybody's very stubborn about it around here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have to get meaner about it. 22 times we chant the mantra a day. We've been doing it since the Chinese New Year on 2015, I think. So, you could start to, and if you have a mala, you can chant this mantra. It's a good one to do 108 times. Lakshman, 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 Lakshman. So it's not Lakshmi, it's Lakshmin with an N. And what's the difference? You guys have heard me talk about this, but we have I like the conscientious objection around here. Lakshman, not Lakshmi. So you get the tongue, right? Lakshman. We have 84 meridian points on the upper palate, and those have it to do with reprogramming the neuron patterns. And we're very interested in you being able to have some kind of command over your own neuron patterns, because your neuron patterns are basically defining and redefining what you're kind of thinking about, what you're craving, what you're obsessing about, what you're habituating, what you're being neurotic about, or what your creativity. It allows you to have some plasticity of your creativity. So if you know how to reprogram your neuron patterns, then you can start to think about things differently and look at things differently, which will give you a fresh mind. And one of the things we're going to be discussing over the next couple of days is what actually gives you an edge in this age compared to what has been in terms of business and creativity and sovereignty and prosperity in the age that we just came from, which in the yogic kind of language we call the age of Pisces and age of Aquarius. But one of the things is that you have some kind of sovereignty over programming your brain and your body in order to be able to have a fresh mind with things, and the kind of creative impact that you can conceive of on a daily basis will give you certain competitive edges, to use a very bad term. It's not a good term, because it's where this age we're not really interested in competing, but I'll use a very outdated business term, because in one of these Aquarian Business Academies, I have my friend come in who's a Harvard business guy, and he compared basically what they were programmed with in Harvard Business School compared to what his actual experience is being an entrepreneur in this age. It was pretty interesting, the difference between all these kind of, and I told this story earlier this week. And, again, I think it's all this is the big tent, and everything that you've been trained, or anything you've been exposed to if you have a classical business kind of background, is really helpful, because you can start to rework inside the system. So we always tell people, don't quit your day job, you know what I mean? So just calm down. Don't become a yoga teacher. It's all okay. It's okay. That was yesterday's training, which was do become a yoga teacher. Now we're in the business school. Don't become a yoga teacher. No. So if you have classical business training or some kind of perspectives that have been a part of what you're bringing, they're very powerful, because you can start to basically Rubik's cube inside the system. That's why I thought that lecture was interesting. And if anybody's interested in it, we can put it on the Aquarian Business Academy portal. I think it's from 2015, one of our first academies. But he had some interesting things to say. Like, if your mind works that way, there's some interesting things around, pitch decks and business plans and that kind of thing, which I think has significantly even changed in the past couple of years. But in one of the things he talked about is this kind of competitive analysis, and how it's basically dead, because in this age we're in a completely different economy, which is something we discussed on Sunday night. We just started a little bit of a discussion into what it actually means to what value is in this economy. And one of the big subject matters that we're going to be kind of looking at in all sorts of different perspectives is if you have the kind of mind, and this is why Google is now going in recruiting, not even middle schoolers, it's now just as heavy as athletic recruitment. Is if you have a certain type of perspective and plasticity and ability and agility and flexibility through your mind and the creativity and the energy that's moving through your system, if you have that, you are very valuable. No matter what you're doing, you're very valuable in a scenario of whether it's a meeting or you're consulting, or whether you're whatever you're doing, parenting. I mean, you could apply this to anything, because you have a certain ability to kind of move through, in the yogic science, the 84 facets of the mind. And so even if you had 10 of those facets of your mind at your disposal, that means that simultaneously you could be looking at 10 different perspectives on the same subject matter and really start to solve some of the problems that are facing us on this planet, that are going to require massive ingenuity and looking at things in ways that have never been looked at before. And the problem has been looked at before, but it's never been looked at in this way before. And we need that kind of sharpness of mind. So the most successful people in this era are people who can handle the massive amount of inflow that's happening. That's what we named this course, Inflow and Outflow. Is that what we named it? I know, inflow and outflow, because the people who are going to actually be able to kind of move through the needs and demands and the new values of this age, because everything is changing. And as I said on this economy conversation, I read this article, and there's all these, it was kind of one of these whatever articles that was like, businesses are having a hard time filling these great jobs. Anybody see this article? These, kind of great, like what would have been considered a wonderful job, businesses are having a hard time filling, and that the only thing that says to me is that means that we're out of touch with what actually is valuable in the marketplace as employers and as business people. We're out of touch, else that wouldn't be happening. So that's these little. I always look for little pieces of news that are basically breadcrumbs showing that the economic thrust and the value set of the Aquarian age is changing completely. And even though we're in the middle of it, so sometimes it's hard to see it, the people who are going to be able to really take this thing to the next level, meaning save the earth from the fifth extinction. Yogi Bhajan says we've offed ourselves 4 times. So you know what they say, fifth time, we're excited about this 5th time. Let's see what we can do. But so we have catastrophic problems facing us. So the most successful people in this time who can move through the kind of new value set and optimize it, utilize it, and then rise to the top and have prosperity and happiness and fulfillment, which is what everybody's looking for, are the people who can organize the inflow and the outflow and generate from the inflow and the outflow and deliver from the inflow and the outflow. Generating, organizing, delivering forces are at the command of the practitioner. Now, in the yogic prophecies and the yogic scriptures, those who carry the rhythms and structures and rhythmic intelligence and patterns of these heightened kind of consciousness patterns, which we could call many different things, but one thing I'll call it right now is mantra. So there's been a misunderstanding in some ways in the new age about what a mantra actually is, which this is what we're kind of really busy with right now. White Sun 3 comes out tomorrow. we're busy with this particular thing, which is these mantras are they're basically sound patterns to organize your inflow and outflow in a way that will optimize the system so that no matter what input's coming at you, which is, heavy, it's heavy in this kind of urban environment, but it's just heavy in the digital environment. Like we were talking about some crypto that, what was it called? Like attention coin? Basic attention token, which is basically you're getting paid for your attention, which is the most valuable commodity on the planet now. Basic attention. Because everybody's so scrambled and crippled by the inflow of the information. And we don't have, and many of us don't have the actual kind of pattern to run the thing through and then sort the sorting mechanisms and then figure out what would need to be organized in a way very quickly. This all has to happen really, really, really quickly. And we're working on this with the team yesterday. I was like on a chair in that Ayurvedic restaurant yesterday at Divya's, restaurants all around. There were some people at lunch and I was like, we can't work like this. Can I have another gluten-free scone? Okay. Extra ghee. I was having my sermon on the mount because how many, we're crippled by the inflow of information, all of us. We just have so many emails. And the people who are going to be able to, and so we're working on this, we're all working on it together. The people who are going to be able to be successful in this time are having the clarity of mind to look at the emails, sort the information very quickly, and discern from it what are the most important things, the prioritization of the information, and then disseminate it. Because if you have other people that, everybody wants an assistant, but if you don't know how to organize the information, if you don't have the ability to then you're just wasting energy and time and money. So in order to build a team, you if that's where you're going, or in order to be a better member of a team, and these, I like to read all these management books and stuff. And one of the management styles that I actually think really works is from the guy who created Toyota. Anybody read his management? He basically created these micro teams, and on the micro teams, there's the lead person who is the best at doing this very thing: sorting, generating, organizing, disseminating information. And then there's a touch, and the smaller the team, the better. And I was just talking to Erica Rose, who I'm hoping will come and do a session with you guys. We're just working out details with her. And she was the president of Alicia Keys Worldwide for many years. And so we were just talking about how when Instagram was bought, it was 15 employees and valued at like $1 billion. Very lean team. So I'm really trying to get inside that pattern, because the better the people are at the top of your little micro teams at generating, organizing, and delivering sorting the information. And the smaller, the leaner the team, the more effective. And I do feel like this is where we're going. And instead of this kind of top down, drizzle down, miscommunication over, we're always like, they're trying to tell me, they're convincing me that this is a good idea. But we started the WhatsApp threads in our company because we're very European. And so we're very European, and so we started WhatsApp threads to prove how European we are. And so we somebody had the idea, like each WhatsApp thread has a subject matter, but it's like Franken WhatsApp. Although it's been a little chill on the WhatsApp thread this morning. What's everybody up to? Because then you get paranoid. But so we started. So now we have like micro WhatsApp threads for like very strange subject. It's starting to get more obscure. Like let me give you a couple of examples. One that I thought was really weird recently. Let's see. Oh, India pre-planning, but then we have the India WhatsApp, and then we have the India pre-planning WhatsApp as opposed to just the India WhatsApp like thread. I think that's a dangerous WhatsApp thread, Shubhapreet. You're getting us in hot water with this one. So this is like a sub-thread of the pre-planning of the planning. Okay, because what are we doing? We're pre-planning right now, but now we have a sub-pre-planning thread. So we thought like, okay, this is a good idea. Now they're trying to, you guys know that app Slack? Now they're trying to, we tried to Slack a couple of years ago, and I was just like, I just can't do this. But I have, my own ways of doing it that doesn't necessarily work for my team, right? So this is where you really have to get into this generating, organizing. We're going to talk about this executive mind, managerial mind, how to kind of, and even if your team is your family, I mean, the whole thing, this is why we're in the predicament we're in. Well, this isn't quite why we're in the predicament we're in, but there's a political thing that we think like, oh, people who can run businesses can run countries, which may be true because this guy can't run a business either. So I mean, it may be true that if you can run a business well, you could run a country well. I'm not saying it's not true, but that experiment hasn't been proven yet. But. So, you also have to have the flexibility and the agility to know what works for the people who are smarter than you, more organized than you, more established than you. That's who the people you should be surrounding yourself with. So now they want to use that Slack app, and I'm just, they claim I don't have to be in any way relating to it. So let's see how it goes. But these are the models. This kind of pattern of success is something you can install in your mainframe, just like downloading an app like Slack. You can install this. And so this is part of what we're going to be doing on the energetic levels in the next couple of days, is we're going to be installing new kind of aspects of the mainframe so that you can be better at this very thing. And you can utilize it in so many different ways. I mean, you can use it in a relationship, in a romantic relationship. Because if you're sorting information and making sure you're focusing on the most important aspects of that information stream, then you're going to be focused on the more positive and productive parts of the relay between you and another person. So you can use this in many different ways. The other thing is you can use it towards yourself, which is, I'm wearing a necklace I stole from the boutique last night. Hey, Joanna, I stole this from the boutique last night. I left with it. I was like, I just stole from my own boutique. I tried it on. I'm like, I'm taking it. I'm not telling anybody. I'm not giving you any ideas. What did you say? Yes, we do. What does she take it? She's as I said yesterday, I was giving everybody some advice about like what to do like when you need a day off, and I disappeared after Rama Festival, and on the WhatsApp threads I just saw like comments like Guru Jagat is unchaperoned somewhere in Europe. She's changed her flight. Nobody knows what's going on. Like it was it was blowing up the WhatsApp threads. Like where the fuck is Guru Jagat? But so you got to in order to kind of take the thing to the next level wherever you are. So some of you are you're in a startup phase, or some of you are reinventing yourselves, or some of you are just here for the 9 a.m. class. Wherever you are, we're just starting at the very beginning here. The whole thing is you can start to download a new pattern, and that pattern you can apply to anything you're doing. From romantic relationships to parenting to your businesses to, kind of the business of yourself. I was talking to an artist, and she was just kind of crippled under the fact that now to be a working artist, she's a visual artist, she has to run a whole aspect of her business like social media. And she has to, and she can't just, she can't be successful in this time just making her art, or very few people can be. There has to be a whole nother aspect in it.